Good morning to all of you. Yes. So this is the seventh PhD video lecture on induction motor drives. So before going into the today's topic, let us summarize the contents covered in last class. So in this regards, static rotor resistance control covered in last class, along with the numerical problems, and also started the slip power recovery schemes. So generally, the slip power is collected from the rotor and it is fed back to the stator so that much amount of energy wastage is to be avoided here with the help of this method so that it is more effective. So these type of methods are generally possible in two types of schemes. One is the static scare based drive, another one is the static Ramas drive. So in earlier class we discussed about the static scare based drive. See here, this the architecture of the static scare based drive. So in this drive, the structure you can observe here, the stator is to be fed with three-phase AC supply, and the slip power is collected, and that collected slip power is fed to the a diode bridge which converts AC into DC, and the converted DC is again fed to the a control rectifier operating in the inverter mode so that it converts DC into AC, and that converted AC is again fed to the supply system through a transformer. This is the generalized scheme and speed torque characteristics, and we discussed the some basics belongs to the this drive in earlier class. Those basics are simply the equations, ED1 equation as well as the ED2 equation, and in earlier class we are not assigned this the equation number 3, so let us keep this is equation number 3, and substituting equation 1 and equation 2 in the equation number 3, so that S is equal to minus n by m cos alpha, and which is also written as minus a cos alpha, where a is the n by m. So I think up to now we discussed in earlier class. Now we will start the today's class in continuation with the earlier topic. See here, there are three equations covered. In the last equation there is a cos alpha term. So cos alpha is the firing angle. So when there are a control rectifier operating in the inverter mode, it has a range of 0 to it has a range of 90 to 180 degrees. So for safe commutation of the inverter switches, we are not using the commutation, the firing angle up to 180 degrees. It is to be restricted to 165 degrees, so that a safe commutation is to be taking place in the switches used in the inverter assembly. So therefore slip can be controlled from 0 to 0.966 a, and alpha is changed from 90 degrees to 165 degrees, and the transformer is used to match the voltages ED1 and ED2. ED1 is the output of diode bridge, and ED2 is the inverter relevant parameter. So transformer is always match the ED1, and ideally speaking ED1 and ED2 both are equal with opposite direction. That's all. So the lowest speed is obtained at ED1 will have a maximum value. So that ED1 maximum value, just you can observe from the equation, it is the root 3 root 3 root 6 by pi is 3 root 6 by pi SV by n is the ED1 maximum, ED1 equation. So that maximum value of ED1 is getting by substituting maximum slip value. Yes. So the constant just to remove, and this equation has to be written the maximum value by substituting the maximum slip. So where S maximum is the value of slip at the lowest speed. If alpha is restricted to 165 degrees, M is chosen such that the inverter voltage has a value of ED1 maximum where alpha is equal to 165 degrees. So substitute all these values just like ED1 plus ED2 is equal to 0. We will find the M is equal to minus n S maximum by cos 165, it has an value of 1.035 n S maximum. So here cos alpha exceeds 90 degrees, the value is minus, minus of minus become plus, so that it has a 1.035 n S maximum. This is the relation between the n and m. It the S maximum is to be getting here. So next, our further discussion belongs to the calculation of the current. So the equivalent circuit of the motor referred to rotor by neglecting magnetizing branch. See here. So by neglecting magnetizing branch, and this the uh, stator parameters, and these are the rotor parameters referred to the rotor side. So for calculation of the current, the uh, reactance has to be neglected, and considering the resistance term only, so that DC link in between ED1 and ED2, it has a DC link. So there are in DC link two wires. This the one wire, and this the another wire. So this becomes the double. The resistance become double. That is, see here, for a DC link resistance, S RS dash plus RR becomes the 2 into SRS dash plus RR. This gives the approximate equivalent circuit as shown in figure B. Is so two wires are considered. This become double, and therefore the calculation of ID as per the formula, ID is equal to ED1 plus ED2 by 2 into SRS dash plus RR plus RD. RD here is a DC link resistance. Is so, see here what's the extension belongs to this. Yes. So ID is the ED1 plus ED2. See here, as per this formula, ID is equal to ED1 plus ED2 by this resistive term. So ED1 you are having a equation number 1, ED2 you are having a equation number 2. So substituting those two, and you will have the value of ID is like this. So if rotor loss is neglected, so the output power is equal to input power. This is the slip power. Slip power is equal to VD2 into IT. This is the output power. So this can be also written as PC is equal to ED2 into ID by S. So generally torque is equal to PC by omega ms. So again you have to write this equation, PC by just ED2 into ID by S into omega ms. So therefore, so the advantages of static square base drive, generally commutation problem is to be neglected because the alpha is to be restricted up to 165 degrees, and also the harmonic loss is reduced, and also the unity power factor has to be maintained on the source side. And in addition to this, um, this drive is widely used in medium and high power pan and pump drives because high efficiency and low cost. And the drawbacks point of view you can discuss. So this drive has an ability to give the below synchronous speed. So this is the one of the drawback of the this system. So the problem belongs to the static square base drive. Let us go through this. A 4 a 440 volts 50 Hz 970 rpm 6 pole star connected 3 phase wound rotor induction motor has following parameters referred to the stator. RS equal to zero point 0.1 ohms, RR dash is equal to 0.08 ohms, XS is equal to zero point 0.3 ohms, XR dash is equal to zero point 0.4 ohms. The stator to rotor turns ratio is 2. Motor speed is controlled by static square base drive. Drive is designed for a speed range of 25% below the synchronous speed. So the maximum value of firing angle is 165 degrees. So calculate transformer turns ratio is the bit number 1, and torque per a speed of 780 rpm and alpha is equal to 140 degrees, and firing angle for half the rated motor torque and speed of 800 rpm. So the DC link inductor has a resistance of 0.01 ohms. So this is the given problem, and the solution for this problem in the bit number 1. In bit number 1, we need to calculate the transformer turns ratio. So transformer turns ratio is denoted as an value of M. As per the maximum slip formula, Sm is equal to minus n by m cos alpha. So for 25% of speed range, the Sm is to be taken as 0.25. So substitute all the values except the value of m. So n is given, it is the stator to rotor turns ratio is 2. So therefore m is equal to minus 2 divided by 0.25 cos 165. So cos alpha value exceeds greater than 90, resulting it has a minus value, minus of minus gone, and this becomes 7.728. So therefore the transformer turns ratio here is in bit number 1 7.728. So this is the bit number 1. Second one is per a speed. So the second bit is this, the bit number 2 is torque per a speed of 780 rpm and alpha is equal to 140 degrees. You observe here is, so speed of 780 rpm, this is the motor speed. Obviously the slip has to be changed. So once slip has to be changed, ed1 has to be changed, ed2 has to be changed. So see here, ed1 you are calculated as per the calculation. So this is the star connected system, the voltages are 140 by per phase values you are considering. So this is the 65.363 volts. Ed2 is alpha is given as 140 degrees, so it has minus 58.95, it's minus value. So therefore id is equal to ed1 plus ed2 by this entire resistance. So and one more thing, all the values given here refer to stator side, but this is rs dash is stator resistance refer to rotor side. So therefore you have to be transfer the all the values. Here rr is there, but in our problem rr dash is there. So to transfer this value from stator side to the rotor side, so generally the transformation ratio is defined as rotor side to stator side, but here given it as a stator side to rotor side. You take the stator side to rotor side is 2, but rotor side to stator side is, it is 1 by 2 is nothing but 0.5. So k here is a 0.5 whole square. So while transferring the stator side parameters to rotor side parameters into k square, so these are two values, and substitute all the values in the ID expression. It has an value of 105.13 amperes. And similarly, you can calculate the torque. Torque is unknown in the second bit. So you can calculate all the by substituting all the values. And here omega ms is the synchronous speed. Is this the 269 Newton meter is the torque for a speed of 780 rpm and alpha is equal to 140 degrees. And in third bit, what is the third bit? So third bit belongs to the firing angle. Firing angle for half the rated motor torque and speed of 800 rpm. So half the rated motor torque we don't know. So therefore you have to calculate the full load torque and then you can consider the half the rated torque. So rated slip is equal to how much? Per a speed of rated slip. Rated slip as per the motor operation it is 0.03. Rated torque, this is the formula for rated torque. And as per the generalized formula. So substitute all the values. This is the full load torque of 605.32 Newton meter is. So from this, half the rated motor torque is 302.66 Newton meter. So and also simultaneously it told that at 800 rpm. So at 800 rpm the slip again change, it has 0.2. So again calculate ed1, it is the 59.42 volts. ed2, this has the alpha is not known, so that the value in terms of alpha. So substitute the ed1 and ed2 in this formula. So you will have a 990.33 plus 1282.5 cos alpha. So again torque is equal to ed2 mod ed2 id s divided by s into omega ms. So all values you are substituting, this may be in terms of cos alpha. So therefore t is equal to 3.673 cos alpha into this value. So let us assume cos alpha is equal to minus x. So therefore the above equation becomes the t is equal to 3.673x into 990.33 minus 1282.5x. So this should be equal to the half of the rated motor torque, that is the 302.66 Newton meter. So equating this and calculating the x value. So you make a second order quadratic equation and calculate the roots of this equation. There are two roots for x, but cos alpha is equal to minus x. Alpha is equal to cos inverse of minus x. So it has a 132.6 and another value is 95.45 degrees is the another. So therefore, alpha is restricted between 90 to 165 for inverter operation. The more convenient value for us is 132.6 degrees. So therefore, the alpha is 132.6 degrees. So that is the problem belongs to the static square base drive, and this the next topic, which is the static Kramer's drive. Actually, slip power recovery schemes has two drives. One is the static scale base drive, another one is static Kramer's drive. So please be remember all of you, in examination point of view, you will expect 100% either static square base drive or static Kramer's drive. So let us start with the static Kramer's drive. First thing, before going into discuss the static Kramer's drive, why we will go for the static Kramer's drive instead of the static square base drive. So generally, the drawbacks in static square base drive overcomes by the static Kramer's drive. What is the drawback? Static square base drive cannot have a ability, it does not have any ability to give the above the rated speeds. So that should be overcome with the help of the static Kramer's drive. So let us see here what is the discussion belongs to here. So static Kramer's drive is one of the method in slip energy recovery scheme. SCR is the slip energy recovery scheme. The main aim of this scheme is to restrict the slip power of induction motor dissipated in resistance to avoid the dissipation of the power in the resistance and utilize it in proper manner by which efficiency of the drive can be increased. The static Ramus drive as shown here. So see here, this is the architecture of the static Ramus drive. As usually, the three-phase AC supply feeds the stator and the slip power is collected here. The slip power is collected, again it is converted into uh, a DC by a diode bridge, and which is supplied to a DC motor. And the shaft of the DC motor is mechanically coupled to the shaft of the induction motor. See the connection diagram, and this is the field winding. So our intention is to have a speeds below rated speeds as well as the above the rated speeds. So the DC motor is very accurate for controlling the speeds below rated speeds as well as above rated speeds. In this regards, this method you have to be approached. See, the shaft of the induction motor as well as shaft of the DC motor both are to be mechanically coupled each other. So therefore, the load torque is the sum of the induction motor torque plus DC motor torque. So nothing is there here for understanding. AC supply and slip power collection, and then this is the AC power. This is converted into DC, and this is fed to the that is DC motor. So the shaft of the DC motor is coupled to the shaft of the induction motor, a separately excited motor for field control. So as usual, there are two methods. One is the field control with the diode bridge. Another one is armature control. So field control in the sense the armature has a constant voltage it maintains. Armature has maintained a constant voltage. For different values of field currents, see the characteristics. This is the field control with the diode bridge. Whenever you are using a diode bridge here, so the diode bridge has only one voltage, VD1. So it is uncontrolled bridge. So only it has one voltage, that is the ED1. So different values of field currents, see here, different values of field currents, different speeds are getting, that is the speeds above the rated speeds. So field control method always you are using for above rated speeds. So similarly, if we control the speed below the rated speeds, the diode bridge is replaced by the thyristor bridge. Diode bridge is replaced by thyristor bridge and controlling the firing angle. This the see here, at that time the field is fixed, only one field current, and the diode bridge is replaced by thyristor bridge so that it is a three-phase fully controlled converter, and as the variation of firing angle will gives the different voltages for different firing angles. So this will gives the below the rated speed. So therefore, with the help of the static Ramus drive, we can overcome the drawbacks of the static Scabius drive, and also getting the speeds below rated speeds as well as the above the rated speeds just seems to be a field control method as well as the armature control method. So let us see the what is the description belongs to the circuit what you discussed so far. See, the rotor slip power you observe here, the circuit also you can observe, here, and the description also you can follow. So the rotor slip power is converted in, see, the rotor slip power is converted into DC by a diode bridge, and the DC power is fed to DC motor mechanically coupled to the an induction motor. So therefore, the torque supplied by load is sum of the torque produced by induction motor and DC motor. So therefore, speed control is obtained by controlling field current of DC motor. And figure B shows the variation of ED1 and ED2 with speed of two values of DC motor field current. And steady state operation is obtained when ED1 is equal to VD2. So speed control is possible from synchronous speed to around half of the synchronous speed. So when large speed control is required or possible when diode bridge is replaced by a thyristor bridge. Now the relationship between ED1 and speed can be altered by controlling the firing angle of thyristor rectifier. So therefore, speed control up to standstill from zero speed to the above rated speeds are getting with help of the this scheme. Yes. So and finally, one more problem which belongs to the static static Kramers drive. See here, this is the problem given for you in the PDF. A static Kramers drive or Kramer drive is used for the speed control of a 6-pole slip ring induction motor fed from 400 volts 50 Hz supply. The inverter is connected directly to the supply if the motor is required to operate it at 800 rpm. Find the firing advance angle of the inverter. Voltage across the open circuit slip ring at standstill is 600 volts. Allow the voltage drop of 0.7 and 1.5 volts across each of the diodes and thyristors respectively. So inductor drop is neglected. So the unknown in this problem is the calculation of firing advance angle. So let us see how to solve this problem. So rotor EMF at standstill is given. It is which is the 600 volts is the line. So per phase you are considering 600 by root 3. It is the 346.5 volts. Yes. So and as per the given parameters, the slip is, so it is 6-pole. 1000 rpm is the synchronous speed and 800 is the motor speed. So 1000 minus 800 by 1000, it is the 0.2 is the slip. So therefore, DC voltage across diode rectifier. The formula for diode rectifier ED is equal to 3 root 6 by pi S into E2 minus the drop. Yes. So 3 root 6 into S is 0.2 and voltage is given. It is the 346.5 divided by pi minus 1.4, which is equal to 160.7 volts is the value of ED1 which is available in the output of the diode rectifier. And inverter DC voltage is given by EDC is equal to, it is the minus, that is the EDC1 and EDC2. So EDC2 is equal to, it is 3 root 6 into 400 by pi cos alpha minus the drop. Its drop is 1.5 is given. So therefore, with no voltage drop in inductor is considered, EDC is equal to ED. So the equating both, and here cos alpha is unknown. So EDC1 is equal to EDC2 and alpha is unknown here. So all the values are known except the value of alpha. So therefore alpha can be calculated. So alpha is equal to 99.8. So therefore firing advance angle of inverter is equal to 180 minus 99.8, which is equal to 80.2 to this the advanced angle of the system. So therefore, so the almost 95 to 98% of the unit number fourth is over here. So some more problems which belongs which from previous question papers will solve and forwarded to you maybe in next class. So that we will finish the unit number fourth. And you may have any doubts regarding this class. We will contact in the interactive section. Uh, interactive section at 3 p.m. today. Thank you, one and all. See you in the interactive session. Thank you, all of you.